Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, economy, and development in Nigeria and around the world. In this video, I want to address the issue of Igbophobia and why it is dangerous and everything should be done to stop Igbophobia in Nigeria. Now, there is an old trending video that will show you an indication that Igbophobia had been existing in Nigeria for a long time. That video was the video of the former Premier of Northern Region, Ahmadu Bello. He was being interviewed by a British journalist. And that British journalist told him that, look, ever since I came to Nigeria, I've observed this northern obsession with the Igbos. You say, what is it about this obsession with the Igbos? And the late former Premier of Northern Region said that the Igbos are a set of people that wants to dominate, and that everywhere they are, if they come to any community, any village, even if you put them in a labor camp as a laborer, they would like to be the head of the camp. That was one of the earliest indications of Igbophobia that is on record. But there had been also other records of Igbophobia which had emanated during the Civil War or before the Civil War. And we're going to look at it. One of them was that of the information that was gotten from declassified information by the United States government. You know, United States government from time to time used to declassify each information. Maybe after 50 years, 100 years or thereabout, they made some information open to the public. So if you go to the State Department website, and I'm going to put a link of that State Department report that was filed that said something about the Igbos and the Nigerian Civil War, just some excerpt from that report. Now, this declassified report is titled Foreign Relations 1969 to 1976, Volume E5, Documents on Africa 1969 to 1972. And it's a memorandum to the White House, Washington, D.C., dated Tuesday, January 28, 1969. Now, this was at the height of the Nigerian Civil War. And it was a memorandum for the president. And that memorandum was written by Henry A. Kissinger, former Secretary of State of the United States, who died last year. At that time, the person that was president of the United States was Richard Nixon. And the subject of this memorandum was United States options in Biafra relief. United States options in Biafra relief. Here, the president was demanding that he should be told about the options that United States government had in bringing relief to Biafra as a result of the the then ongoing civil war. Now, one of the excerpts from that memorandum written by Henry Kissinger reads, I'm just taking an excerpt from it. Henry Kissinger wrote, he said, don't forget that Henry Kissinger himself is a Jewish American who escaped the Holocaust in Europe, became a naturalized American citizen, and was able to rise to the level he did in the United States. So he was writing a report on the Igbos, the then ongoing civil war, and the issue of relief option that the president of America then demanded that he should be given a breakdown on how to go about it. Henry Kissinger, in one of the paragraphs in that memorandum, wrote, he said, the Igbos are the wandering Jews of West Africa. And this, he was very categorical. He wasn't saying that the Igbos are people that some people say that they are Jews. But that is not even where I'm going to. But he was very categorical what he think of the Igbos in the report he wrote to President Nixon. He said, the Igbos are the wandering Jews of West Africa, gifted, aggressive, westernized, at best envied and resented, but mostly despised by the mass of their neighbors in the Federation. I want to take this paragraph again so that it can sink in, you can understand it. And this was written in a document for the United States government, for the consumption of the President of the United States. This is what the Henry Kissinger wrote. He said, the Igbos are the wandering Jews of West Africa, gifted, aggressive, westernized, at best envied and resented, but mostly despised by the mass of their neighbors in the Federation. So even at this time, this Henry Kissinger was also able to perceive of Igbophobia in Nigeria. And he went on to say, they have fought well by African standard against heavy odds. Now, in another paragraph, where he also brought in the issue of Igbophobia, Henry Kissinger wrote, he said, there is an urge for unity among the elite of all factions, though the strongest cement at this point is probably common tribal hatred of the Igbos. I want it to sink in again. He said, there is an urge for unity among the elite of all factions. That is, he was saying, among all the groups in Nigeria, maybe all the ethnic groups, all the groups in Nigeria, ethnic groups in Nigeria. He said, among their elite, he said, there is an urge for unity among the elite of all factions, though the strongest cement at this point is probably common tribal hatred of the Igbos. Now, he went on to also, in another paragraph, he was writing, he said, the feds have cultivated a little elan in discovering they could run the country without the Igbos. Now this, don't forget, this was a memorandum that was written in 1969. At that time, the war was going on. So the Igbo was no longer part of the Nigerian Federation, at least at that period. So it was saying that the federal government of Nigeria, they have cultivated a little elan in discovering that they could run the country without the Igbos, who were the backbone of commerce and civil service in the north as well as in the south of Nigeria. As well as in the south of Nigeria. Here, Henry Kissinger is talking about the fact that Nigeria at that time had developed people in federal government of Nigeria at that time. Perhaps initially they believed that there was this feeling, can we run the country without the Igbos? He said they discovered they were now excited that they could run Nigeria without the Igbos. Because hitherto, according to this report by Henry Kissinger, Igbos were dominant. Because according to this report by Henry Kissinger, the Igbos were the backbone of commerce and civil service in the north as well as the south of Nigeria. Okay? Of course, I have come to understand why this was so. I did a video before where I talk about the fact that Igbos did not receive Western education the same time with the Southwest. But once the Igbos understood the value of Western education, they were able to do so much to get ahead to the level that they overtook the Southwest. They overtook the Western region in education to the level that by the time Nigeria got its independence, the Igbos were dominant in all stratas of Nigerian society. And that was because of their embrace of Western education. That was why when University of Nigeria, when the first university in Nigeria, University of Ibadan, became a full-fledged university. You know, it was initially University College Ibadan. By the time it became a full-fledged university, it was Professor Dike Igbo that became his first vice chancellor, the first black vice chancellor of University of Ibadan. Because University of Ibadan was an offshoot or a campus of University of London. So it wasn't really a full-fledged university. The first indigenous university in Nigeria was University of Nigeria, Nsukka, that was built by Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe in 1953. It was after that you begin to get universities of Ahmadu Bello University Zaria and Ahmadu Bello University Zaria and University of Ife, which later became Obafemi Awolowo University. When the University of Lagos was founded, an Igbo, Professor Eni Njoko, was its first vice chancellor, which was an indication of the tremendous progress the Igbos made in education. Now, this issue of Igbophobia was again brought to the fore recently in Nigeria last year, 2023, on March 25, 2023, when former President Olusegun Obasanjo condemned what he called or described as Igbophobia in Nigeria. Speaking at an event in Anambra State to commemorate Governor Chukwuma Soludo's 1 year in office, Obasanjo recalled his work. He recalled his work with the professor of economics, that's Professor Soludo, as well as the current Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Recall that in Obasanjo's administration, which spanned from 1999 to 2007, Soludo served as the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, while Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala was the Minister of Finance. The former president stated that Soludo, who worked closely with him as an economic advisor, never misadvised him, and that the economist's performance impressed him so much so that he was asked to lead the Apex Bank. So Obasanjo promoted him from economic advisor to the governor of Central Bank of Nigeria. According to him, Soludo was the second Nigerian central bank governor who was not a commercial banker of some sort. However, soon after appointing the academic, that's Soludo, as central bank governor, Obasanjo found himself confronted by a dissenting voice. According to Obasanjo, somebody came to me and said, "Wow, you have ruined the economy of Nigeria." And I said, "How?" And the person said to Obasanjo, "An Igbo woman, Minister of Finance, an Igbo man, Governor of the Central Bank. Then you have clearly, completely, you say you have clearly completed the task of winning the economy of Nigeria." That's what the person told him. He said, "Then you have clearly, completed, you have clearly completed the task of winning the economy of Nigeria." Obasanjo went on to say, "I don't know why he said that, except for what I call Igbophobia, and I don't take that lightly. It remains." Now, Obasanjo is confirming that Igbophobia still remains. He said, "It remains, it persists. But when you have that type that was said to me, and the type of thing that you know is going on, as I have just called it, what do we do with it?" That is the question that we are looking for the answer. What do we do with Igbophobia? Obasanjo has admitted that it's still ongoing. This Igbophobia is still ongoing in Nigeria. And the Igbophobia got a life of its own during the 2023 presidential election, or the run-up to the 2023 presidential election. You know that before then, the Igbo had been consigned to political oblivion until Peter Obi emerged in the scene. Before the election, there was this clamor that the next president of Nigeria should come from the southeast. And it was not it's not for any reason except the fight for justice, fairness, and equity. At that time, since 1999, the Southwest had produced Obasanjo as president for 8 years. The North has produced Yaradua for 3 years. The North has also produced Buhari for 8 years. The Southwest has produced Osibanjo for 8 years as vice president. Meanwhile, the Southeast has never tested either the vice president or the president since 1999. It was expected, and there was clarion call, that all the political parties should choose their presidential candidate from the Southeast, especially the major political parties, the APC and the People's Democratic Party, because that was what common sense dictates that they do. The PDP that's supposed to lead in the pack in that aspect, in the opposition, failed woefully. They believe that they can do without the Igbos. That was why, despite the fact that Buhari has done 8 years, a Fulani, a Northerner, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, himself a Fulani, a Northerner, wanted to come and do another 8 years, which will make it back-to-back 16 years for the North. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso was also warming up to be president of Nigeria after 8 years of Buhari, a Northerner, despite the fact that he himself is from the North. So it was in this climate that you discover that the Igbos were made inconsequential in Nigerian politics until Peter Obi took the challenge and decided to move to the Labour Party. Because ordinarily, PDP would have won the election hands down if they had zoned it to the southeast as was expected of them, and they're able to ward off the rigging machinery of APC. They could have easily won the election. Of course, despite that's not done, Peter Obi moved to Labour Party where he actually won the election, but for the rigging of it by the ruling party. Peter Obi actually won the election. Even independent verification, which people like Babashi Lawal, former secretary to the federal government of Nigeria, was able to confirm. And different independent verification showed that Peter Obi, despite everything else, won the election. But he was rigged out, as it were. And the court confirmed the person that was declared as the winner. Okay, but we know, Nigerians know, who actually won the 2023 presidential election. Now, Peter Obi's emergence as the presidential candidate of the Labour Party and the impact it had in the country, that Peter Obi, coming from Southeast, was able to have the support, nationwide support, that propelled him to the top of the pack in the presidential election is still a shock to so many of his opponents. And now what have they done? They are challenging the audacity of Peter Obi and the Igbos to gun for the presidency of Nigeria. And they seem to have amplified Igbophobia now. Igbophobia that had been in existence, but Peter Obi showed that despite that Igbophobia, if you are a good product, if you come out at the right time, Nigerians will go for you, because at the end of the day, it is all about how can I have a good life? Who can make my life better? And Peter Obi was the one that most Nigerians believe could make their life better. But since Peter Obi emerged, and the controversial way the 2023 election was manipulated against him, though his opponents have now activated that Igbophobia to new level, and now they are using it in the social media for a kill. There are those now in the social media space whose only job is to cast aspersion on Igbos. They don't post anything unless it's against the Igbos. In fact, Igbo topic is the only topic that excites them, and it has to be a negative topic. Anything that will give the impression of putting the Igbo down is what they do. It excites them. They get clicks from it. They get likes from it. They get viewership from it. So as long as they are getting it, there is nothing they will do but to continue in that light. Now, it is a very dangerous route, because this is a route that led to the Rwanda genocide in 1994. And nobody can forget what happened in Lagos during the election, how the Igbos were singled out for harassment, for intimidation, for beating, for all kinds of things, violently attacked. It's on record in Lagos, both during the presidential and the governorship election. They activated this hate, this Igbophobia, to the highest level at that period. And now it has gotten momentum on social media. Even months after the elections are over, there are those who it is now their stock in trade to produce hate messages against the Igbos in general. And they are getting away with it because the social media platforms are not adhering strongly to their community regulations, because there are community regulations that guide whether it is Facebook, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, what have you. But it seems that these platforms have been overlooking anti-Igbo and Igbophobia creators that are pumping up everywhere, because under the guise of freedom of expression, to pump out hate messages that, if they are not controlled, could lead to the Rwanda genocide kind of thing happening in Nigeria. And there is a need to call those people to order. There's a need for Twitter, for TikTok, for Instagram, for Facebook, YouTube, all the social media platforms, to rein in these people. These people are doing a lot of damage. Their job, they should be treated the same way that people who drop in anti-Semitic views on social media are treated. So there should be vigilance. There are some of them, they parade themselves everywhere. People know them. Anytime you see them, is Igbophobia, anti-Igbo projects that they are only after. They don't bother about the state of Nigerian economy. It doesn't bother them. The state of the naira to the dollar, it doesn't bother them. The state of unemployment in Nigeria is not their concern. The high cost of living in Nigeria is not to their concern. That the minimum wage of workers in Nigeria cannot take them home is not important to them. That the price of rice is higher than the minimum wage of Nigeria is not their concern. Their only problem is the Igbo people of Nigeria, to spread hate against them. And since Aguiyi Ironsi was the head of state of Nigeria, that was the last time an Igbo person had ever been the president of this country. So if there is anybody that you should vent your frustration against about Nigeria's underdevelopment, it cannot be the Igbos. The Igbos have left the scene for a whole lot of other people to be running the country since 1966. They have left the scene for them. So if you are frustrated that you are not, that the country is not developing, it's not the Igbos. The Igbos have never been president of Nigeria since 1967. So what is your problem? Why are you spreading this hate? So that's why this hate needs to be situated into where it is. It's just a natural hatred that has to be treated as anti-Semitic. The social media platforms should begin to treat Igbophobia on social media platform the way they treat anti-Semites, so that it will get into their head that they cannot continue in that light. That is what needs to be done to curtail this situation. And then the federal government of Nigeria should also be careful how it treats the Igbos. Yes, I've seen the body language of the government. They seem to love insults hurled against the Igbos. The kind of people they associate, people like Reno or Mokri they associate with, people who spew hate, xenophobia against the Igbos. These are the people that are close to them. These are the people they promote. These are people they are allowed to be close to them. And when those people are posting all these things, it means that they have the support of the federal government to do it. So federal government should be careful how its officials associate with people like Reno Omokro, who is also one of those that spread those hate against the Igbos. One of those who spread Igbophobia. And there are several of them on social media. That is their stock in trade. And that P2B emerged and was accepted by Nigerians is a nightmare to them. They are using it as an opportunity to insult the Igbo race, to spread hate against them, to lie against them, to cook up stories against them. The social media platforms should begin to take them down as they are dropping their hate-filled videos. They should be taken down just as fast as they are taking down anti-Semitic videos in their platforms. That is what needs to be done. And it has to be done quickly, without further delay. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.